Deroy Murdock is with us, as well as Chris Bedford. Chris, let me go back to you. A little bit of a dust up in that prior segment. Couldn't get you back in the conversation. A lot of people are saying that the FBI is in hot water over this as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the FBI didn't figure this out. I mean, the FBI has basically been behind on all of this, and it's been a problem since the beginning. Places like the New York Times have been being leaked, targeted information completely classified to essentially establish that a member of the U.S. government or incoming member is a problem, is a threat. That's completely criminal. But there's also, through the entire National Security Council, there's dysfunction from top to bottom. There's possible criminal activity going on beneath General Flynn and General Kellogg. And then even at the top, a lot of the things that Donald Trump's asked for, like his campaign promises, whether it's the immigration change or the travel restrictions, or even the special forces raid in Yemen, those never even went through the council like they're supposed to. So nothing from top to bottom is functioning correctly almost anywhere in intelligence right now.
Deroy, obviously this is going to go on for some time. There are a lot of unanswered questions all around.
Yeah, I think the left is going to continue to bang on this nonstop. I mean, first of all, they don't have a positive program, so why not run with this and use this to try to damage Trump? And secondly, this whole idea of Flynn talking to the Russian ambassador plays into this narrative that somehow Donald Trump is the Siberian candidate and the KGB actually picked him as president and so on. I think it's a complete fantasy, but the fact that we're talking about a former member of the American government and a member of the Russian government just feeds into this whole Russian involvement theme that the Democrats.
Well, to your point, New York Times Friedman said moments ago that the resignation of Flynn because it proves that Russian hacking is on the scale of 9/11 in Pearl Harbor. I mean, that's a little bit hyperbolic.
That sounds like a bit much. I agree with excuse me, with what Congressman DeSantis said. Look, the Logan Act says that an American citizen, private citizen cannot negotiate with a foreign government. I don't think there's any evidence that Flynn negotiated with the Kremlin. The conversation may just have been the ambassador saying, please tell me what Mr. Trump's position is on sanctions. And he said, oh, according to the latest speech, he said, here's the position. That might have been the extent of the conversation, as opposed to, hey, let's work out an agreement and, we'll sign it on January 25th or something like that.
Chris, Representative DeSantis talked about getting the transcript of this. I think that would go a long way in resolving a lot of this, particularly the nonsense that Deroy's talking about from the left, stoking this, which I think is something relatively small with respect to Michael Flynn, but they're certainly making it into something really huge.
So it's kind of interesting to us. We were discussing this in the newsroom earlier, how General Flynn, who used to be the director of national intelligence, would have a phone call to the ambassador of Russia on what we assume is an unsecured line and not expect his own guys, his old former team, to be listening in. Now, we can certainly expect that to not be leaked, but now that it has, he's still professing his innocence, saying that he didn't cross that line, although he did say that everything was up for review in his quote to our reporter earlier today. You would expect that if he thinks that this came out, now it's out, the best way to clear the air is for the American public to see this call, which has caused so much trouble.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Deroy? You think that is an option?
Yeah.
Like eventually happens?
I think we should, whatever it is, let's get it out. I mean, if it's exculpatory, terrific. If it's damaging, take the hit now rather than have it drag on. There are important things to do. We need to ditch Obamacare and replace it. We have taxes that need to be cut. I want to see us get back to that agenda. And the more we're talking about this, we're not talking about those important priorities.
Yeah, these soap opera things certainly sucking up a lot of the oxygen.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Well, regardless of what happens next.